Girl, I'm shaking. Not dramatic shaking. I mean real shaking.
Yeah, that's she's delivering a whole spirit amongst young girls. She's introducing. We've had a gangster spirit. The gangster spirit damn near wiped the young black males out. This whole spirit is fit to do a number on the young black girl.
Because what Teyana Taylor just did, it wasn't a post. It wasn't a clapback. It was a full-on, gloves-off, nuclear-grade reveal. She exposed the kind of stuff people only whisper about in VIP lounges and ND-Aridin retreats in Malibu. And she did it on live. Just her. No filter. Hoodie on. Eyes red like she hadn't slept in days. And her voice. Not angry, not loud, just done. I protected people who wouldn't even spit on me if I was on fire, she said. But now that it's touched my daughter, nah, we not playing quiet anymore. And then she started dropping names. Not hints, not shade. Names, full names, some of your faves. Some of the ones with whole good guy reputations.
Got HPV? I bet she done had chlamydia, gonorrhea, trigonometry, cryopts, and whatever else that can contract. Hell, you talking about she too motherfucking nasty, mannish, fierce at the mouth, and she ain't got them hot dollar weed. Everybody
ones who win awards, post inspirational captions, and always talk about healing energy. Yeah, them. She said they're part of a system. Not just fame games or cheating scandals. Something darker, something organized. She called it a loop of silence that protects predators, gaslight survivors, and blackballs the ones who speak up. And guess what? She has receipts. I've been saving files for years, time-stamped. Dated, I've got audio, video, emails. Y'all think I'm scared? She said, staring into the camera like she was about to walk into war. Then she dropped the scariest line of all. You ever wonder why some people disappear after they speak up? I do. And then she logged off, just like that. Boom, gone, the internet lost its damn mind, tweets flying, Reddit threads multiplying, celebs untagging her, PR teams in full-blown panic. Because if what she's saying is true, and it looks like it is, then the people she's calling out aren't just shady. They're dangerous. And now, she's naming names, she's not backing down. And something tells me, this was just her first shot. So the second that live ended, people started scrambling. Screens were recording, tweets were flying, and every group chat in the industry, especially the ones labeled "Don't screenshot this," lit UP. Because what Teyana said wasn't random. This has been coming. If you know anything about Teyana Taylor, you know she's not your average celeb. She didn't come into the industry through the back door or with a famous last name. She fought her way in, from Harlem, from the streets. From being the loud, confident black girl people either wanted to water down or exploit. Remember when she first popped on the scene? 2007. MTV's My Super Sweet 16. That lime green Lambo, the bike tricks, the bubblegum lip gloss, and that wild, don't care energy. She wasn't giving industry polish. She was giving real. But what most people missed is how even back then, she was already in the rooms. She was Pharrell's artist, signed to Star Trek. Writing, producing, dancing. That girl was choreographing behind the scenes for icons before she even had an album. And every time people tried to box her in, she broke out, except the game never played fair with her. Labels fumbled her rollouts. Studios delayed her projects. Brands used her look but didn't pay her worth. And she kept swallowing it. For years, smiling, hustling, making art that the industry didn't know what to do with because she couldn't be controlled. And that's when they started freezing her out. Behind the scenes, she was getting blackballed quietly. Like the kind of blackballing where people pretend to support you publicly but sabotage you privately. Suddenly, campaigns were postponed. Suddenly, offers fell through. Suddenly, people she trusted were gone. But here's the twist. Teyana knew. She wasn't naive. She kept the screenshots. She kept the emails. She kept the DMs where a certain TV exec promised her a lead role only to give it to the daughter of a family friend 2 months later. And what's even messier, that exec is one of the names she dropped in her live. Eyes. Now let's talk about the relationships. Because baby, Teyana has seen it all, the industry hookups, the hidden marriages, the secret babies. The NDAs thicker than a Harry Potter book. And she's never been one to out people. She minds her business. She protects people, even when they don't protect her. Like that time a certain pop princess, you definitely know her, had a full breakdown on set after her producer started yelling. Guess who calmed her down? Teyana. Guess who stayed with her all night and missed her own rehearsal to help her through a panic attack? Teyana. But months later, when Teyana was being dragged in the press over a contract dispute, that same princess posted nothing. Crickets, silence, and that stung. Because Teyana's never been the girl to let another black woman drown. But when it was her turn, nobody threw her a life raft. Let's also talk about her marriage, because yeah, that played a part too. Her relationship with Iman Shumpert was always seen as goals. Love, vibes, black excellence. But behind the perfect couple aesthetic were a lot of messy layers. Rumors, allegations, third parties, and pressure from fans, from brands, from the machine that wants you to sell your relationship like it's merch. There were times she wanted to walk away. For real. But guess who told her to stay and make it work for the image? A famous couple. The couple, power couple. She called them industry royalty in the live, but we know who she meant. And that's what really hit hard, because she took their advice, stayed in something that was cracking, for the brand, for the perception, and when things got dark, when she needed help, they disappeared. That's when the bitterness started creeping in. Quiet bitterness. The kind that sits in your chest and eats away at your peace. She was doing everything right, being loyal, being graceful, being powerful in a world that wants you small, and she was still getting played, still being used, still being silenced. And then the turning point, her daughter. Junie changed everything. Teyana's always been protective of her, never exploitative. You'll never catch her using Junie for clicks or sponsorships. But as Junie got older and started being around the industry more, something shifted. People started treating her like a prop, like a commodity. There were situations where photographers would show up by accident. Or certain managers would say, "Oh, let's have the kids hang out," when the kids didn't even know each other. Then came the private party, a party in the hills, industry invite only. Teyana wasn't even supposed to be in town, but someone close to her brought Junie anyway, without her knowledge. And that was the moment. Because what happened at that party? She hasn't told us everything yet, but she said enough. Something was caught on security footage, something involving a child, and that footage was sent to her anonymously. Let that sink in. Someone recorded it, someone kept it, and someone sent it to Teyana like a threat. She said the moment she saw the video, her whole body went cold. "I saw something I can't unsee, and I heard my daughter's voice in the background," she said. She wasn't hurt, thank God, but she was there. She saw something no child should see. She started asking questions, and suddenly people who were always available vanished. Calls went to voicemail, texts left on read. The studio involved claimed they had no idea what footage she was talking about. The security company said they didn't retain backups. It was a cover-up, a coordinated one, and for what? To protect WHO. That's when she started realizing these people aren't just individuals. They're connected. They're in a loop that protects itself. That silences anyone who speaks. That makes you feel crazy for even asking questions. She said she even got a call from a private number warning her to let it go. But instead, she let it burn. And that brings us to the live. The names, the accusations, the raw, unfiltered breakdown of years of secrets. Teyana wasn't trying to be viral. She was trying to free herself. She said, "I'm not scared anymore, and I'm not saving anyone else's reputation at the cost of my peace. If I go down, at least I go down finally speaking my truth." Hugh, you still with me? Because that's just the beginning. You think it's over now? Nah, baby, we haven't even gotten to the first twist yet. Okay, so let's really go back. Because Teyana didn't wake up one day and decide to expose the whole damn industry. Nah, this has been building, quietly, for years. She didn't just see the darkness, she survived it. And the messed up part? She was helping the same people who were building the system that almost broke her. Let me explain. You remember Teyana from My Super Sweet 16, right? Loud, Fly, Harlem, Lime Green Lambo. That wasn't just MTV, that was a debut. Farrell had already signed her to Star Trek. Behind the scenes, she was already working with legends, but she wasn't just in the room. She was watching. She saw the politics, the way execs treated young black girls, the way stylists whispered about toning down her image, The microaggressions dressed as compliments. "You're so raw," they'd say, but they never meant that in a good way. What they really meant was uncontrollable. They couldn't mold her, and that scared them. Still, she kept climbing, dropped her debut, starred in movies, directed her own visuals before everyone was doing it. She choreographed for Beyoncé, designed for Reebok, did Canai's fashion show. She's been behind more of your faves, careers than you even realize. But the industry never gave her what she earned. They gave her cult favorite instead of superstar, underground icon instead of household name. And every time she got close to that next level, something pulled her back, something subtle. A campaign deal that disappeared. An album rollout that was delayed without explanation. A co-star suddenly refusing to work with her. She thought she was paranoid at first, but then the receipts started stacking. Like the time she was cast in a high-profile streaming show, she had the lead, the contract, the promo shots done. But a week before the announcement, boom, replaced, quietly, no warning. The reason? Creative direction shift. But Teyana knew the truth. The producer's wife didn't like how much chemistry she had with her co-star. And guess what? That producer's name? One of the people she called out on her live. Let's talk friendships. Because behind closed doors, Teyana was the girl people came to when *T hit the fan. When a Grammy-winning singer got caught up in a domestic situation, Teyana was the one hiding her in a hotel under a fake name. When an A-list actress had her photos leaked, guess who tracked down the source and handled it? When a certain rapper awed at a party and everyone scattered, Teyana stayed, cleaned it up, kept the story from leaking. She was loyal, even when it hurt, but the loyalty was never returned. Fast forward to her marriage to a man Shumpert. Everyone said they were black love goals. And yeah, they were real, passionate, but it was hard. There were cheating rumors, distance, arguments. She had a miscarriage at one point and the blogs made it a joke. She stayed quiet. She stayed strong, even when she wanted to scream. What people didn't know, while she was losing brand deals over attitude, other celebs were copying her. Her looks, her sound, her style, whole eras, and they were being celebrated for it. Meanwhile, she was in therapy trying to figure out why she kept being almost mainstream, almost famous, almost safe. And then came the child incident. This was the moment everything changed. It started small. Little things, weird texts, emails from blocked addresses, people warning her to stop asking questions, and then the DM. It came from a burner account, no message, just a video link. She hesitated, she clicked, and her heart stopped. It was security footage from a party in the hills. Somewhere fancy, hidden, exclusive, no phones allowed. She wasn't even there, she had declined the invite. But someone brought her daughter Junie, without her permission. The video. It showed a famous producer, someone beloved, someone woke, yelling at a teenage assistant. Like scary yelling, violent, the assistant was crying. Other adults stood around. Silent. And in the background, you could hear Junie's voice. Small. Asking if the girl was okay. Teyana said she almost passed out. Her body went ice cold. Not just from fear, from rage. Because what was Junie doing there? Why didn't anyone tell her? And who filmed this? Why send it to her? Why now? She started calling people. Every single one denied it. They acted confused or fake concerned. One even told her, "You're being dramatic. It's not that deep." Not that deep. A child saw something traumatic. And y'all are protecting the man who caused it? That was the moment the mask cracked. She said, "I've watched these people get away with so much. I covered for them. I lied for them. I made excuses. But you bring my daughter into this. It's war now." The next few days were a blur. She started getting frozen out again, but this time it was aggressive. One of her brand campaigns got pulled overnight. A collab she was leading got postponed indefinitely. A stylist friend told her flat out, "They're closing ranks." People were scared because the names involved were untouchable, like legacy level. The kind of names that run festivals, own labels, fund foundations. And they don't like people talking. Especially not someone like Teyana, smart, articulate, and documented. Because here, what nobody counted on, she kept everything. Emails, contracts, DMs, recordings, screenshots. She had been archiving all of it. Not to expose, just to protect herself. But now she was done protecting anyone but herself and her family. That's when she started planning the live. She knew what she was doing. She picked 2 a.m. for a reason. Knew the blogs would catch it in the morning. Knew the stands would screen record it. Knew once it was out, she couldn't be silenced without it looking way too obvious. And she knew the industry well enough to know. Once the whisper starts, it becomes a roar. So she went on live. No makeup, no glam, just fire in her chest and a storm in her voice. I stayed quiet while y'all played in my face. I covered for people who wouldn't even hold a door for me, but you brought a child into it. A child, so now, we're talking. She started naming names, not vague accusations. Full names, first and last. She spoke like someone who had nothing left to lose. This person hosted the party. This person brought the kids. This person paid the security. And this person tried to bury the footage. And then she said, I'm not scared anymore. Because if y'all take me out, the files go public. Everything I've saved, every receipt, every name, it's all backed up. Try me. And she logged off, just like that. That's where we left off. And now the streets are buzzing. The blogs are tiptoeing. Celebs are deleting tweets. Some are pretending they didn't see it. Others are watching very carefully. But you want to know the real twist? This wasn't even her original plan. Because before she hit go live, Teyana was planning a whole documentary. Quietly, secretly, with lawyers, witnesses, contracts, a team. But the moment her daughter got dragged into the line of fire, she skipped the cameras. She skipped the PR, she lit the match. And now, the fire's spreading. So boom, Teyana drops the live, names names, then just disappears into the shadows like a legend in a hooded sweatshirt. She didn't post again. She didn't clarify. She didn't retract, just silence. But the world was the opposite of silent. Overnight, TikTok had 47 different breakdowns of what happened. Twitter threads popped up with timelines, alleged connections, and blurry screenshots from 2016 that suddenly made sense. Fans became investigators. Conspiracy theories were flying, but this time, they didn't feel like reach. They felt too close to the truth. Because what Teyana said on that live, about the secret circle, the NDAs, the footage, the loop of silence, that wasn't the kind of thing you make up. It had too much pain in it, too much experience. She wasn't guessing, she was remembering. And the people she called out, oh baby, some of them were your faves. Let's talk about the first name she dropped. Malik, obviously not his real name, but if you know, you know. He's that good guy, R&B singer who always talks about meditation, gratitude, crystals, and emotional healing. Always journaling in beach pics. Has an entire fan base of girls who swear he's in tune with the divine. Wells turns out Malik isn't so divine. According to Teyana, he's one of the founding members of The Loop, a group of powerful men and women in music, fashion, and entertainment who protect each other at any cost. Teyana said, Malik hosts the retreats, he plays therapist, but what he's really doing is handpicking people he knows he can control. Young artists, vulnerable women. He'll mentor you and then blacklist you the second you push back. And the real kicker, she says he tried it on her years ago, when she was still under Farrell, said he invited her to his healing circle, told her she had anger in her spirit and needed to release it through intimacy. She declined, he flipped. Next thing she knew, a rumor about her being aggressive on set popped up in 2 industry blogs. Opportunities dried up. That was strike 1. But the real explosion came when she mentioned a name no one expected. Isla, America's sweetheart, platinum-selling pop star, known for her signature ponytail and feminist anthems, always smiling, always tweeting about mental health awareness and empowering women. Well, guess what? According to Teyana, Isla's not just part of the loop, she's the gatekeeper. Teyana said, she acts clean cause she doesn't do the dirt. She just signs the checks. She just gives the nod. And when you're not useful anymore, she cuts you off like you never existed. And then she dropped the wildest receipt. A voicemail from years ago, distorted voice, but you could tell it was Isla. Tell Teyana we're not moving forward. It's too risky to be associated with her right now. She's unstable. And the footage from that night, make sure it's deleted, for good. What footage? Teyana didn't explain, she just let the clip play, then ended the live. So now the timeline's going insane. People are putting pieces together. There was a night, years ago, when Teyana had a meltdown at a Grammy afterparty. Or that's how they framed it. Said she was drunk, out of control. Got into a fight with security. But fans who were there say she didn't start the fight, she stopped one. Now, suddenly it makes sense. What if she witnessed something that night? Something big, something they needed covered up. It's giving cover story. It's giving shut her up before she talks. And just when people were settling into that twist, boom, twist number 1 drops. And it is wild, because guess who suddenly came forward? Not a fan, not a blog. A former assistant to one of the men Teyana exposed. We'll call her B. She dropped a voice note on her private story, which got leaked in like 5 seconds and said, "I know I'll probably get sued for this, but F** it. Teyana's not lying. I was there. I signed the NDAs. I saw the footage. I hid some of it. They had me do it. And I still have one backup." Girl. Flushed. She didn't name the celeb directly, but we know. Fans matched her location to a recording studio owned by Malik. And what she said next? Chills. The footage from that night at the party, the one with the kids, it was worse than she said. That's why they're panicking. That's why they're trying to shut it down. But she has a copy. And I have one too. If anything happens to either of us, send it to the press. You could hear the fear in her voice. Real fear. And suddenly it hit people, this isn't just tea. This is dangerous. This isn't he cheated drama. This is get the lawyers, get the insurance, move your money overseas kind of drama. Because if this footage gets out, careers are done. People go to prison, brands collapse, and what's even crazier, Teyana knows that. That's why she's not talking anymore. She said her piece. She warned them, she lit the fuse. Now she's watching what they do next, and they're scrambling. Malik canceled his upcoming healing retreat in Chelum. Isla turned off all her Instagram comments. One of the stylists she called out posted a long, weirdly vague apology about unintentional harm. And here's where it gets real messy. A certain blog, the kind that always defends these celebs, always has the exclusive, always posts shady edits of Black women, ran a hit piece the next morning. Headlined, sources say Teyana Taylor is unwell and obsessed with destroying reputations. But guess what? That blog is owned by a media group, partially funded by Isla's record label. Nail medium dark, the dots are dotting. So now we're here. The lines are drawn. Teyana's camp hasn't said another word. No follow-ups, no clarifications. Just silence and screenshots. But the people she called out, they're shaking. And we're watching. Because if what she said is even half true, and honestly, it's looking like it's 100%, this is just the first layer of a very deep, very dangerous iceberg. The industry's scrambling to spin it. But the fans, they smell blood. Okay, so now we're past the point of no return. The loop is leaking. The names have been named. The industry's spin machine is choking. And guess what? Teyana's still silent. She's not tweeting, not reposting, not hinting. But baby, she doesn't have to. Because the internet, the streets, the insiders, they're doing the work for her. And the receipts, they're not just rolling in, they're flooding. Let me break it down. After B, the former assistant, dropped that voice note confirming the secret footage does exist and warned that people are covering it up, everything changed. Because once someone inside the circle cracks, the whole thing starts crumbling. Suddenly, more assistants, more stylists, more ex-employees, they're dropping anonymous DMs to bloggers, leaking photos, screenshots, time-stamped emails, blurred faces in group chats. One stylist said, there are entire group texts between publicists where they schedule smear campaigns. They literally say, post her mugshot at 3 p.m. or time this with the album drop. It's all a game to them. Teyana was just the first one with the guts to light a match. And now that match, it's setting the whole structure on fire. Fire. So what's escalating? Everything. Let's start with Isla, Miss America's sweetheart. Her team is imploding. Sources say 3 of her PR girls quit. One even removed her name from her LinkedIn the same night Teyana went live. Her label is ghosting press. Her brand collabs are putting her on review status. And then the receipts dropped. An old interview clip from 2019 gets dug up where Isla is visibly nervous after being asked about Teyana Taylor's visuals. She stutters, dodges, sips water. Says, oh, I don't know her personally, but fans pulled up pictures of them hugging at 2 different events. Lie 1. Exposed. Then came a recording from an unreleased docuseries where Isla's creative director admits that they pulled from Teyana's concepts without credit. One quote, we just made it lighter and whiter for her fanbase. Boom, the aesthetic theft wasn't just suspected anymore, it was confirmed. The betrayal, loud. The silence, louder. Still, Isla says nothing, but she's deleting. And baby, in 2026, deleting is a statement. Then came the second twist. And nobody saw this one coming. A man inside the loop flipped. We'll call him Jeremiah. Not his real name, but if you've been watching music production credits since 2012, you know who I'm talking about. Jeremiah is an award-winning, ultra-private producer, known for working with everybody from trap stars to Disney kids. No scandals, no mess, always clean. But guess what? He used to date Teyana. Years ago, quietly, before her marriage. He was there, in the rooms, in the houses, at the parties. And he went dark after the live dropped. Unusually quiet. Until he showed up on a burner Twitch stream and accidentally spilled everything. It was supposed to be a convo about music samples. Super nerdy. Only 300 viewers. But someone asked about industry snakes. Jeremiah sighed, said, I mean, y'all seen what Teyana said. She's not lying. Chat froze. He continued, I was in that loop. I got invited to the events. I saw how they handled problems. I didn't always agree, but you stay silent because it's safer. Teyana had every right to say what she said. If anything, she held back. Then he said the line that flipped everything upside down. They tried to use her, and when she didn't play ball, they tried to ruin her. That whole thing at the 2019 Grammys, that wasn't a breakdown. That was a setup. Boom, setup, not meltdown, not drama. A coordinated takedown. And the scary part, he said she wasn't the only one. Jeremiah claimed the loop has a blacklist. She wasn't the only one. Jeremiah claimed the loop has a blacklist.